Hey everybody. So we've come to it the last week before the AP exam, right? So our exam is at 2 o'clock on Friday the 15th, right? So this video is going to go over some of the tips, instructions, all that stuff to get you ready for test day, right? So this one is a super important one to watch. If you are watching this and you know one of your friends is in class, definitely make sure, like, hey, did you watch that? Because this is our only way to really communicate, right? At any point throughout this video, if you have a question, you have to send me a message on Remind or in an email, and I will get back with you. If I don't know the answer, I will definitely find out from the people who would know the answer, right? So let's get started on all of the things, okay? So I got my big old list from a meeting of things that we're going to make sure that you guys are aware of, all right? So everybody knows what's going on, right? So first thing is that you are going to get an e-ticket from College Board 48 hours before your exam, okay? Now, they're going to send this out via email, but if you're not getting the emails from College Board, that's totally fine, right? 48 hours before your exam, so that would be Wednesday at 2 p.m., you should get this e-ticket that will be posted inside your AP classroom. All right, so basically what you do is you sign into My AP, all right, same way you sign into AP Classroom, all of your AP things, okay, all right, and that ticket will be there, okay. On that ticket, it's going to have your AP number and have a button that you press on to start your exam, okay. That's how you get into it. That's easy. Easy peasy. Now, obviously, when you do this, you need to write down your AP number, right? One of the things that's on the blog, and I'm going to go over to that here real quickly, right, is you're going to see a list of things in there that I definitely want you guys to look through, just so then that way, when you're on test day, you're comfortable, you know what's going on. Because remember, you don't have one of your teachers at school being your proctor to tell you, hey, fill in box A. This is how much time you have left, all those things. You are your proctor, right? Your parents and siblings and whoever's living in your house can also be your kind of like proctor for you. And that's definitely one of the tips that I got for you guys is have them be your timer, right? Yeah, you can time yourself and have like a timer set on your phone for 45 minutes or whatever to keep track of that, but that's just going to tell you when that time's up, right? You need somebody coming in and being like, you got 20 minutes left, you got 10 minutes left, 5 minutes left, and now you need to submit, all right? You need that, all right? And I'm telling you, you need it because that's what I would need, okay? So if it's something I think I would need for the test, that's what I'm really going to emphasize to you guys, okay? All right, and so one of the things that's kind of how I'm structuring our video and stuff for today is kind of going over what I think I would need on test day, because then that's what you're going to need. Right, so what we're going to do right now, we're going to go to the blog, right, and we're going to go over a couple things that are going to help you know where everything is sort of on test day, what it looks like, all those types of stuff. Okay, so when we go to the blog over here, all right, you got the APUSH exam 2020, all right, and this is this page. This is the page where I've had all the information. Okay, so for people that haven't been looking at the videos or paying attention until right now, here's your basics. So here's your entire AP exam schedule for all of the classes. Our exam again is at 2 p.m. on Friday the 15th. There is one DBQ. It is only 5 documents. Okay, it's only going to cover periods 3 through 7 are the only time period they can ask you about, right? So we definitely want to have all those old packets for every unit available, so then that way if we see, like say if it's period 4 or period 5 or something like that, we grab those ones out, all the rest of them throw them on the floor. We don't need those anymore. Right, you're going to have 45 minutes of writing time and then 5 minutes to upload, right? If that 45 minutes has elapsed and you still need 1 more minute to type something and then want 4 minutes to do the upload process, technically you can do that. However, you're gambling, okay? So that is definitely where having a proctor type of person, like your parent there, to help you keep track of the time is going to be extremely useful, okay? And the rubric is basically the same that we've had in the past, however, it's going to be 10 points instead of 7, okay? Right, so here's the section I really want you guys to pay attention to today, and this is sort of some of the stuff we'll be going over, right? How do I set stuff up on exam day, right? Obviously have a computer that's plugged in, right, at your desk or a table in a quiet space, right? You're gonna need this quiet time just to help you focus, right? You guys know how you are when you're working, right? If you can't focus, right, like makes life hard. Now, if you don't have a computer, one, that's something you should have been asking us about, say back in, yeah, I don't know, like March 14th. Um, but you can do this with a phone. We will go over how to do that if that is what you want to do. So you don't have to have a computer, but I feel like most of us can type way faster than we can write. So I would definitely say a computer is what I would be using, right? So again, we get these resource sheets that you can use any of your own material for this. If you have prepared anything, like you've been taking notes, making timelines, doing practice contextualization or practice thesis statements, and you've been doing it in Google Docs, that is awesome. It is your work. You are allowed to use it. However, make sure you download those onto your desktop, right? Because there's going to have a lot of stuff with security, and we're going to talk about that for a little bit, right? The security features that College Board's going to have could be set off if you're using a document that has been shared with other people. So like say if you did one of the practice DBQs and you did it in Google Docs and shared it with me, right? That is shared with another person. That could set off one of the security features. So just to avoid that, let's just download those. They're all on our desktop. After the test is done, you can delete them. You can do whatever you want with them, right? So that's just something that I don't know if that would set something off, but that's what people have told us. So just fix it so then that way you don't have any issues, right? Obviously, paper and pencil, you're going to need that stuff with you so you can scribble stuff down while you're annotating documents, etc. Like kind of off to the side. Just have that scrap sheet of paper off to the side of next to your computer so you got it, so you don't have to go find like I need something to write with, right? Everything is there ready for you, right? Now, these next couple things I do want you guys to do. Okay, if you haven't looked at these at all yet, this is definitely a must do. It has the exam walkthrough from College Board. This is just a YouTube video that's pretty short, and it tells you exactly what to do, how to do everything. It's going to go over how to upload your document or cut and paste it or use it with pictures because you're using your phone. This goes through all of the features. So this is something that I would definitely go through just because it's really quick, easy to watch, and it's going to give you all of that information. Okay, these exam day checklists, it's this link right here. You could print this out and it's just kind of to give you exactly what you got to do on exam day. It has all the things. If you have any questions, this is like all of the answers that you might have, or answers to the questions you might have, but it's not necessary to actually print this, okay? I would just kind of look through it, make sure you know what's going on, all right? Now, for your computers and your phone, right, whatever device you're going to use, go ahead and click on this on that particular device, go through it. It's actually going to make sure that you have all of whatever browser you're using is the correct browser. If anything doesn't is not going to work on exam day, it won't work with this demo, right? So this is definitely like big stars right here. You definitely have to do this, right? Now, when you do this, the only browser that will not work is Internet Explorer. It's 2020. I don't expect hardly any of you using Internet Explorer unless it is the default on your home computer, right? So with that, if you have Internet Explorer on your computer as the default, is that when you would actually take your exam, you don't want to click on like start exam and then it opens up a new window with Internet Explorer. So you are going to need to change that default. Again, this is where you need to go through this. Make sure everything's good. If you're using Chrome, Firefox, Safari, any of the major ones and stuff like that, you're fine, okay? Edge is in this as well. Just old Internet Explorer is a no-go, all right? Everything else is fine. But this one is, these two here are like, you know, have a lot of stuff in there. I definitely would watch those. This one here, not getting emails from College Board. Yeah, you probably should fix that, but that is not super necessary right now, okay? Other things going on, just so then people are aware, all right? Here I got a bunch of different YouTube videos I've made about making your resource sheets or packets, all right, the DBQ rubric, all right, we go over the rubric here. This is definitely something I would make sure that I am watching to go over that rubric. Here's all the different skills videos. Oh yeah, look, there's a little thing over there. Interesting. I've put lots of stuff in here, so if you are not figuring out what's going on, you definitely need to do that. I've had lots of people been doing all of our DBQ practices, all right, they've been looking really good. I'm still in the process of grading and looking through some of the number 3s, and I'm going to be doing number 4s later today as well. If you want to do number 5, go ahead. You can submit it at any point. However, I do know that a lot of you guys might be taking an exam on, say, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that sort of thing. And so if you're taking an exam, obviously I would not recommend you doing this. But if you're not taking an exam on those days, then, why not, right? Might as well. And those exams on those first couple days are calculus, AP European, and chem, right? So if you're a person that's taking one of those exams, I do not expect to see something about this last time period from you, right? If you aren't taking those exams, then I do expect to see something from you. Okay, right, and then we got our motivational videos. In any time period, if you just want to watch videos to review, they're all right here from College Board. So again, I got lots and lots of information on here. Okay, all right, so again, this is all to help you guys out. Right, so let's go over, I've given you a lot of information. Pause the video, go back, all right, it's totally okay. And again, ask me questions, okay? If you don't ask me questions, I can't help, okay? So that's a really big thing of all the things you might have learned from this whole pandemic and everything like that so far is we have to communicate, okay? And over communication is better than not saying anything at all. So let's go over a couple of more of these things that I got going on. All right, so you're gonna get your e-ticket 48 hours before your exam, right? If you don't get an email, that's fine. You just go on to my AP Classroom, right? You click on it, done, not a big deal, right? If something goes wrong, and you get sick, something happens in your family, some emergency that happens, okay? I totally understand, right? Okay, if you watched my videos earlier this week, you heard that I had a family emergency going on Monday, and so, those things happen. College Board understands that, especially with our current situation. So if something happens and you can't test on Friday the 15th, you just don't touch that test button, right? You don't enter the test, right? And what they'll automatically do is send you the makeup test ticket that is 48 hours before that makeup test, okay? So don't worry about that. If something happens on that day and you need some help walking through it of what to do, message me, okay? That's not a big deal, okay? All right, now, here's where we get super important stuff. Again, most of the stuff in here is going to be super important things. All right, on test day, you need to log in 30 minutes before your test. So if our test is at 2, that means 1:30. Right, now the reason for this is because they're going to have a series of, they said there are security questions and identification questions. Right, now these don't factor into your test score, but what we have heard is that you're not allowed to enter the test until you've done these questions, okay? Those questions might only take 10 minutes. They might take a full half hour. They've told us a half hour. We have not seen these yet, right? Honestly, we're not gonna know what those will look like until we have those first set of students taking the exams on Monday, right? So if people take the exam on Monday and they see what's going on, definitely give us some feedback, right? But they told us at least a half hour. Think about it, when you take in a regular AP exam, you have all of the bubbling that you have to do of like your name and and all that stuff. That's basically what I think you're going to be doing, right? They might ask you some other things for security purposes, but you need that half hour to do all of those things, okay? And then at 2 o'clock, the test will open, okay? So got to do all that. And so again, have that a half hour, all right, have everything ready, right? So far, 48 hours before the test, I'm going to get my ticket, all right? 30 minutes before the test, I'm going to log in, do a bunch of questions, and before that 30 minutes, I'm going to have all my stuff. I'm going to have my resource pages off to the side. I'm going to have my scrap paper. I'm going to have my pen, right, so I can write stuff down. I might even need my water. I need my motivation, right? All right, and I'm going to need my timer, or I'm going to have somebody in the other room starting that timer when I tell them the exam's starting now, right? Okay, so those are the things I'm definitely going to have all right here with me, okay? Now, when you are taking the exam, right, there are 3 ways that you can submit this exam. You can type it into Google Docs and cut and paste it over when you are done, okay? It cuts and pastes the exact format that you had it. So if you had paragraph divisions, all those sorts of things, it cut and pastes it and it stays static. What that means is after you cut and paste it, you cannot edit that document, right? You would have to delete and then cut and paste again, okay? Now the reason I say use Google Docs is because Google Docs saves every 30 seconds, right? So that means that if something happens and my computer starts acting weird or anything like that, it is saved there. I have not lost any information. Also, College Board said if you would lose internet connection during the test, but you're still typing or whatever, and it'll either log you back in automatically or you just click on enter the test button again and then you're all right back there, right? So again, Google Docs is what I would use. This is the first option. That is what I would do, right? Because then you can just cut and paste. Cut and paste is super easy. It takes 2 seconds, right? Option 2, you can type it into a Word document and save that Word document and then upload it. Okay, so you can do that. That's fairly simple as well. However, you got to make sure that you are fairly familiar with this is what I'm titling it as, this is where the document's going to be, etc. Okay, now for both of these options, I would say right now, while you're preparing for your test, right, make that file. Okay, make the file, give it a title. All right, on your file you have to have your AP number and your initials. They don't want your actual name because your AP number identifies who you are, because then when the grader sees it, they just see your initials, they don't see your name. Okay, it's supposed to, you know, be identification, but also like privacy type of things. Okay, so definitely that's what's going to be on your documents. Okay, so you might as well go ahead and do that, so then you're not spending the extra, even if it's only 30 seconds, you know, opening a Word document, saving the file, making these things on there, or same with Google Docs. That's extra 30 seconds you don't have, right? So you might as well do that now. So that's a good tip, right? Good tip number 1. Our third way you can do this test is with a phone. Okay, so if I want to write my test, okay, I want to write it by hand, right? That's totally fine. It's up to you. It is your preference, okay? What they said is that you can only log in to take the test from your phone, right? And then you take pictures, right, of those pages. On that particular version, if you want to do this by hand and take pictures of those pages and upload them that way and submit them, again, totally fine. However, for that one, there are a little bit more of the rules that are going on. Every page you're going to have to write your AP number at the top, right, along with your initials, and then every page you're going to have to label like page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, right? Or have a max of 5 pages. You only got 45 minutes. Nobody's writing 5 pages. No. Along with these, because a lot of questions come up with typing and things like that, right? There is nothing that says you have to have a certain font size or font style or anything like that. So if there is a font that you like, that you know is your jam, go for it. Okay. Obviously, be nice to the people that be rereading this. Don't pick something that's like in a script or, dear Lord, Comic Sans. Oh my God, how embarrassing! Don't do that. But if that's your jam, go to town, right? So there's no rules on any of that sort of thing. Obviously, don't be ridiculous, okay? Definitely not wingdings, all right? Because that ain't gonna work, okay? Right, so we got all our initials on there. So again, create that file in your computer before test day, so that's one less thing you have to do, okay? Right, with that security stuff that I was mentioning before, right, is that, again, anything that you might have in Google Docs that you've been using that might be shared with another person, and so I'm really specifically referencing if someone wanted to use, if they did the practice DBQ for me that was on period 5, right, and they did a really good job on that contextualization, and they want to use that for their essay because the essay's on period 5, right, if that's what happens, they can use that. However, since it's shared with me, that could set off one of these security features. Now, when I'm saying security features, some people might be like, oh my God, like they're not going to catch us, blah, blah, blah. They've literally already caught one person trying to cheat on the AP Physics exam because they were going on to different like forums and stuff like that, basically asking people for help. I'm pretty sure they found them on Reddit, but they've already found people. And this software that College Board has purchased. Remember, this is a very, very wealthy industry. Okay. Remember how much you paid for that exam? There's about 500,000 students that take the APUSH exam, and that's just this exam alone. So do some math. They're going to have a lot of money to spend a lot on security features. So we want to make sure we do not set any of those off and cause an issue. Okay. So anything that is a shared document that you want to use, download it. You download it, it's on your computer, it's like you have it minimized down below, you can use it, it's fine because it's your work. All right. Okay. On that note, I haven't used it, but some people from English classes have used Grammarly as a plugin on their computers, right? So a plugin on like Chrome and stuff like that for when they're writing. If you have that on your computer, I need you to disable that plugin because that's going to cause a problem. Okay. Again, when you go through the like walk through AP exam, it has those in the instructions. Ms. Beeman has sent out different things to go over a lot of instructions as well. She has had that in there. So again, that would kind of set off plagiarism security things because there's a program correcting your sentences. Okay, so again, just disable it. College Board doesn't care about spelling. They don't care about, like, at least for the histories, okay? They don't care about spelling. They don't care about your grammar and things like that. They want content, okay? So again, all the points you get are from that rubric. If it's not on the rubric, they don't care, okay? So don't stress out. I'm a horrible speller. You guys have seen this in class, right? It doesn't matter, okay? Plus you have, you haven't just basic Word and Google Docs and stuff like that. You have all these features in there already. Those are fine, right? Because they're part of that initial program, okay? So again, some before test things, all right? Okay, check on your technology, all right? Do the demo, all right? And that's at College Board's website. So it's cb.org/apdemo. Again, on the blog, right? Just click on it. Remove Grammarly. You can't use Internet Explorer. You can use everything else. So basically the Internet Explorer thing, if you have Internet Explorer as your default browser on your computer right now, then basically just go in there and change the default. If you don't know how to do that, okay, it's called Google, right? And you're going to go to Google and it's like, how do I change my internet default on my computer? Okay. And then you either pick Mac or PC. Okay. And it will walk you through and you'll be fine. Okay. So it's something I wouldn't know necessarily how to do that right away, but you can find it out. It's called the internet. Okay. Right. So yeah. Remember, there's a checklist. Again, it's not required for you to do that AP checklist, but definitely I would read through it. And then maybe all the things that I need to do, I'm going to put it on a Post-it, okay, of like, hey, remember to do this, this, and this, okay? Especially also while I'm watching this video. Make a quick Post-it of all the things, right? So some other tips that I got going on that just kind of came up when I was at a bunch of these different Zoom meetings and stuff like that about the exam. So you can pre-write all of your contextualization if you want to. So think about is that we have time periods 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are where the test could come from. Your contextualization is just the background of a time period. So if I went ahead and pre-wrote a contextualization paragraph for each of those time periods, then I get the test and I'm like, ooh, it's period 4. I'm going to take my period 4 one, copy and paste that into the document that I have created that's going to be for my test. And then when I'm looking at the question, I might change a thing here or there, add in a little sentence, right? But my basic stuff's there. That's going to lower my stress level because I've prepared that. Again, it's my work. My work's fine. I can't use someone else's. So if someone else does this and then they share it with me, I can't use that because that's going to set some stuff off because it's going to be the same, right? Can't do that. But if you want to do it, so if I want to do that, I can do that. I would do it, right? You only have 45 minutes. Like, you know what the contextualization should be, right? That time period, right? And then again, you can just add in another couple sentences, like a sentence at the bottom that connects that big chunk of contextualization to the question, to that argument. Done, right? So I would do that, right? I also might have several thesis statements that I have done for my practices. This could even be practices we've had that I've given back to you guys from class. So different writings we've done. If you got a thesis statement, it's like, ooh, that one was good. Keep all those. You can have them off to the side. You can have them, again, on Post-its. You could have them in your Google Docs and stuff like that you've downloaded, right? Whatever. Now, these thesis statements, you're not going to be able to use those directly on the exam, okay? We're probably not that lucky to get a practice question that we did that's actually going to be the question, right? Yeah, that's probably highly, highly unlikely. However, if I had a really good one, I can use it as a model, and then I can cut and paste that and then just plug in, change a few things around, some wording here and there, but I got the basic structure, so I know, like, this is what I need to put in there, okay? Again, that's just taking one little extra step that I think is going to make it easier on actual test day. Again, it's your work, and you're the one modifying it. It's yours, okay? So that's totally okay. Right? Hopefully all these things are making sense. If you got questions, send me a message, right? So what else do I got on here, right? Okay, not that much more, right? So basically, if you, during the course of the exam, something bad happens, okay? We hope it doesn't, but something bad happens. You lose internet, power goes out, whatever, okay? And you're unable to finish the exam, okay? What you have to do is you have to request a makeup exam. Okay, so you're totally allowed to. You got to fill out a form. Basically, they're going to have some stuff on the AP website for you guys to do that if that comes about. Basically, don't worry about this part. I'm just telling you, if something bad happens, it's not the end of the world, right? That's why they have the makeup test for. So if something like that happens on exam day, just email me, message me, we'll walk it through, we'll figure out what's going on. I can't request the exam makeup for you, you have to do that, but they said it's fairly easy, and again, I will walk you through that part, don't stress, okay? So hopefully, knock on wood, that doesn't happen, but there's a backup, okay? So basically think of this as if, some crazy thing happens, you have the ability to still take an exam. Now, obviously, the makeup exam is going to be a different question. So you can't just prepare for this one and then be like, oh, I'll just answer it in 2 weeks. No, it's a totally different question. They're supposed to usually be the same level of difficulty, but it's easy if you know it, right? If you don't, it's hard. It doesn't matter what the question is. So yeah, okay. The scores are supposed to come in around the 15th of July. Okay, and also with that is I'm going to get all of your responses on the 26th of May. Yeah, like I will actually see like what you wrote before it is graded. They haven't really told us exactly what all that's about. I think it's basically for students who are in school until June. So some of those schools in parts of the country that start school much later than us, they're using that for like possible final exams or stuff like that. It's very weird. We're done with school on the 20th. None of that matters, but I will have them if you, we can look at them and stuff like that. I can, we can do whatever we need to at that point if you want to. Otherwise, happy summer, right? Yeah, right? So let's kind of recap. I know there was a lot going on, right? So we're going to get that test ticket. We're going to log in at 1:30 on Friday the 15th to answer our security questions. We're going to have our resources next to us. We're going to have all of our supplies. I'm going to have somebody that's going to be my timer, right, that's going to help me out with the timing. They can't help me out with the test, but they can help me with the timing. I'm also going to have, I didn't mention this before, but I've mentioned it in almost every single other skills video I've done, this guy right here. This mini rubric, okay? If this does not look familiar for you because you have not been watching the skills videos, guess what? You need to go to the skills video that says the rubric, okay? So that is the rubric one. I go over the whole thing and we make one of these. This is the thing that is going to save your butt, okay? Because this is all of the check marks, right? And I even go through why these two here are crossed out, okay? It's not that you can't do those things. It's just I think they might take too much time, okay? That last one there, complexity, that's in the video from earlier this week. So that one, again, go through all the videos, watch them, all right? I did them for a reason. I see how many people watch them. I know, right? Also, the people who are doing all the practices are the ones who are watching them. So I know if you are planning to take this exam on the 15th, watch the videos, okay? Right? This is the stuff we'd be doing in class, right? This is your class, okay? But this guy right here is a must-have, okay? Right? And what I'm going to have before, so I got all my stuff here. I got my packets. I got any timelines I might have. I got my scrap paper. I got my timer. I got my water. I got my rubric, okay? And I'm already going to have my document set up in my computer so it's named, everything's ready to go, and then I just 1:30 click the thing, I answer all the random questions, then 2 o'clock I get started and I start typing away. All right, now when you do the demo practice exam, it's going to show you where the timer is, okay? So you're going to have this timer that's going to be, 45 minutes, right? And that sort of thing. It's actually, so you guys know, it's going to say 50 minutes, 50, okay? That's because your 5-minute upload time is in there, okay? Now, what it'll do is it'll count down, and then when it's 5 minutes left, it will start flashing red, okay? Right? How do you like that? Flashing red, right? And that is when you need to start, take one extra moment of breath. That last little typing craziness, okay? You've seen all the memes, right? And then upload that sucker, okay? Or cut and paste it over. Again, I would recommend cutting and pasting because it's the easiest, it's less stress. You're not in that moment of like, oh my gosh, I saved it. What is the file named? Also, if you want to upload it and it's in Google Docs, that means you got to download it and then upload it because you can't just share the file link, okay? Download it, then upload it. So again, that's an extra random step. That's, you're out of control of how fast your computer's going. Cut and paste is real quick, right? So I honestly don't know why anyone wouldn't use the cut and paste option, okay, to be perfectly straightforward and honest with you guys, right? So we got all those things that are all happening here, right? But it seems, honestly, as long as I got this in my resource pages, I think I'm good, right? Okay, again, those couple tips I gave you guys about the contextualization and thesis, I think those are great ideas. Why not, right? It's an unprecedented time. I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing that word, but it's also an unprecedented test. So why not take advantage of all of the good things? All right, okay. So if you guys have been doing the preparing, you got all that stuff together, you got your post-it, you're gonna be fine, okay? Right, my last big tip for you guys, and I've said this to several people when I've given them feedback for their DBQ practices, is College Board said that since this time period is very short, the reason they did that is because you can't Google things in this time period. You don't have time, okay? You just don't have time. That's why you got to have all of your resource pages all right there for you, ready to go, okay? Because 45 minutes, the people that have been doing this practice DBQs, they're taking that full 45 minutes, and some people are taking a little bit longer, and they're working on that practice to speed things up. You don't have time to Google, okay? So just because, yes, it is OpenNote, and yes, it is OpenBook, and you could use the internet, you don't have time, okay? However, College Board has said that you can still get a score of a 5, like a 5 total on the exam, and not finish the essay because they realize that time period is really, really short, okay? It's not impossible. However, it is kind of leaning towards the idea that if you already know that time period, you know your history, you're not necessarily going to need as much of these resource pages as somebody who doesn't. And so that means that the person who knows more of that history will be able to type more and get farther through that essay than somebody that doesn't know that particular time period. Okay? So that kind of gives me the feeling that if I know a lot of the stuff, I don't maybe know all the terms and people, but like I'm like, oh yeah, who's that guy? He did the thing, right? That's why I got my notes with me, okay, so I can look at it, right? And then I got my rubric, so I know that if I do the things that I can do and get as many points as possible, then I should do really well. Okay, again, if this here, this little post-it here is not ringing a bell in your head, this is really, really important. Okay, I would definitely go back and watch that rubric video that I made, right? Because it's going to go over all the different things, what you can get points on. We got cool things on here. You get 2 points for doing analysis of 2 documents. We did that all the time in class. That's easy, like easy, easy. You get 2 points for 2 pieces of outside evidence that are explained. That's easy. You get a point for contextualization, you get a point for a thesis. Right there, that's 6 points out of 10. That's easy, okay? So really definitely go through that, okay? And that wasn't getting into the complicated stuff of using the documents for my argument or even any complexity. Yeah, this isn't seeming too terribly difficult, right? But you got to prepare, okay? I know I've said it so many times and I know this video is getting long, but it's because I can't reach out through the computer to you guys, okay? So, wishing you good luck. You're gonna do fine. George wishes you good luck, right? And last but not least, again, if you got those questions, send me your questions. If you don't send me the questions, I can't help. So if you got them, ask, okay? That's really the biggest thing I can help you guys out with. But until then, you guys are gonna be fine. Breathe. Make sure that that morning you get something good to eat. And sleep in a little bit. All right, make sure that move your body around and that sort of thing before you take the test. Have that water with you or whatever it is that you need with you, coffee, whatever, and just have have a nice comfy chair, all that sort of stuff, and have all your stuff ready to go. If that's all ready to go, say the night before, you got everything laid out, you don't have to think about it, and you take your test in your jammies, okay? Because of course we've been in our jammies all the time, right? Right? All right. So I'll get out of here, guys, but you'll do fine. Send me questions. All right. Bye.